Hey Rivals, Bax here, and I am excited to say it is time. It is time to stop going back and forth between 4,600 and 4,700 trophies, and it's time to get up to the arena and hit 5,000. So I'm on a new quest, I'm sharing that with you, I'm drawing the line on the sand, and we're starting that today. I'm currently Stronghold 11, and I know that many of you have been wanting to get up to the arena at Stronghold 9, 10, or 11, and it's not easy. It's much easier when you're at Stronghold 12 with an extra portal, but it can be done, and I hope that this video can, or this series can help you to find the confidence to do that. So the first thing I like to do in getting every advantage I can for pushing is to head to the daily campaigns for the +3 mana bonus. Now you wouldn't do this for any random ancient, but if there is an ancient that you're planning to use for pushing, if you can get that +3 mana bonus through the daily campaign, that's a real plus. In addition, you get some practice with that ancient. So here I know that I am expecting to use Erasmus on my push, and his third spell in particular, the Refraction spell, is really quite powerful, but it needs a lot of mana to fuel. So that's an example where having a +3 bonus at the start is really good. You'll also notice that a technique that I use with Erasmus is to use Mana Hunters. The reason is I can get to that 15 mana rather quickly, and not only that, I can usually get a second casting even before the stronghold has been encountered. Now I'm kind of doubting this will work on the highest spaces, but in this first stage of the push I think it's going to be very helpful. So here we're able to take out the first base in Amani's Grove without too much difficulty. And while it is fun to switch up your ancients, and I really enjoy doing that, if you're going to be doing serious pushing, those losses really hurt, can set you back and slow you down. So you want to pick just a few ancients to focus on. So for me, Erasmus, Forval, possibly Jael. If I had Zalonia, I would be using her. Now on this attack, in a recent update, Space Age changed it so that you don't use the same ancient you did the first time. And so it went to default to Kestra, and I did not notice that until after I went to cast the first spell, and it was not what I thought it was. So I really had to scramble and recover on this one. Kestra's first spell is really not all that helpful. The Confuse one is nicer, and the Fury spell at the end there can speed your troops up very nicely as well. Now there's a lot of free mana on this base, fortunately, especially with the Mana Hunters as well, and so we will have enough mana to use both that Fury spell and the Confuse spell. And we'll come in here from the north. There are no real particularly dangerous spell towers to deal with. We do have Viscaria here recently. That's a big advantage, so we did some sweeping there, soften up the troops, get the Wind Fury, and they both move and attack faster. We may need to use the dragon to finish off the stronghold. Nope, we got it. And we use just a Wind Fury to get what gold we can. Fortunately, it looks like I'm leaving a lot of gold on the table with this one, so we'll pick up what extra we can with the volley. So that's good to know that we can win once in a while with Kestra, but really we're looking to practice Erasmus here. So back to Amani's Grove for the third one. Now also on doing these daily quests, you want to spend most of your stones on actually pushing, not on the daily. So if it's too hard, if it looks like you're going to have to spend too many stones to get there, don't bother. But if you can get that +3 mana boost without too much extra effort, it's a really good thing to do here. Alright, so this base has the double or dual Primus conduits. Got a lot of firepower in there. The spell towers are all the crippling poison, so not too bad. And I think we'll be able to get to that 15 quickly, which is a good thing. Our troops will take a lot of damage, and look at that arrow launcher just destroy itself. Skywatcher just as well. When you have a splash tower built defense like the arrow launcher or the Skywatcher, they'll just wreck themselves by taking 75% damage from so many troops. So actually, that's a real good example of Erasmus in practice and why you might consider using him on a push. It all depends, though, on getting to that 15 mana fairly quickly. I like to include a Mana Hunter in the mix for that, or use those Mana Hunter boosts we all seem to get from relic chests. And that's the third one we've defeated, so we've beaten the campaign. Alright, let's see what we get here. Ah, some Nature Primus. Alright, that's very good. So here's an example now of an actual multiplayer attack where we're using Erasmus. There's just a little bit of free building on the outside. We're going to soften up the troops, draw the fire of that flame tower. If that thing shoots before I can get the refraction up, it's going to hurt quite a bit. So fortunately we're able to take that out fairly quickly. Building up our mana quickly, though the troops will take a lot of damage. And we get our refraction up. Alright. So now we're in better shape here. And there's really not a whole lot of defenses here left. Plus we have our dragon to sweep into the middle. There's really no air defenses in the middle. So we're going to get that stronghold. And then recast the refraction to see what extra gold we can get. So yeah, that's an example of how it would look in practice to use Erasmus for a push. If that's something you haven't, that's an ancient you haven't used before, definitely practice that as much as you can in Kingdom Raids or elsewhere. In many of the other videos in this series, you're probably going to see me going to Forvel because the ice towers can be really tough. Alright, so let's summarize today with a few tips for pushing at the high level, especially if you're a Stronghold 9, 10, or 11. First is that you want to choose a very limited number of Ancients to use. You want to practice with these often in various modes, in player versus player, but in raids and in the daily campaigns it won't cost you. And then finally, leverage that +3 mana bonus from the daily campaign when possible. Hope you enjoyed this series. I'm excited about it. If you have any tips for pushing to Arena, definitely let me know. I'd love to hear about that. Thanks so much for watching.